Oh, hey, there we are. Okay, like everything's good. All right. Hey, sis. All right, let's get started here. Volume just in case. All right. Hey, Facebook. Hey, YouTube. Good evening. It's Thursday. Yay! It's Thursday. Welcome to Camper Conversations New Night. Welcome to Camper Conversations New Home, New Place on Thursdays. On Thursdays. Y'all probably wondering why did I switch to Thursday, right? Several reasons why I switched to Thursday. First reason is everybody knows that my priorities are my family, my business, my God, my family, my business. So my nephew plays the snare drum, plays the bells, learning the quads, I think it is. And Caden is first chair snare, y'all. He's first chair snare, which means he's having after school band rehearsals for games. For games. Did not want any interference. Did not want to have to tell you, hey, got to postpone, got to change up because I'm going to be watching my boy do his thing. One reason. Second reason was it's the beginning of the weekend. And I'm starting to find myself kind of stuck a little bit beginning the weekend, and I don't want to be stuck beginning the weekend. So we made the change. So welcome to Thursdays. All right, Thursdays. All right. Caden made the little video clip, guys. He does, as y'all know, he does his weekly predictions for the NFL. So he made the, hey Dana, what's up, babe? So he made the little announcement for Thursdays. All right. So let's get started. Hey, welcome to Camper Conversations. If this is your first time here, if this is your first evening joining the family, welcome. I'm so happy that you are here. I'm Donna. I'm the creator of Camper Conversations. All right. So Camper Conversations, real snippet, real quick. Camper Conversations was started because I bought a fifth wheel camper. Thought, you know what, it'd be a great idea to get into the camper on Fridays once a week and talk about some grown folk subjects, topics, have some grown folk conversation, right? As y'all can see, I am not in the camper. I have not been in the camper in a very, very long time. And truth be told, we may not ever go back to the camper unless I'm actually out camping on a weekend. Okay? All right. So doesn't matter where we are, family, as long as we're together. So welcome to my home. All right. So real life relationship growth. This is the criteria for you being here. If you're single, if you're dating, if you're courting, if you're married, if you're divorced, or if you are a widower. If you're a widower, this is the home, the family, the place for you. Because this is a safe place, safe space where we come together and we talk about everything under the sun that relates to relationships, um, between a male and a female. It relates to relationships for whether they're negatives, positives, all of that. So we're not here to tell anybody what to do. And we're not here to tell anyone how they should handle their situations and their relationships. We're here as a family to say, hey, I've been through that. And this is how I dealt with it. These are the things that helped me individually or helped me us as a couple. You know, I'm turning this down because y'all, Facebook hear a little bit of somebody music and they want to shut you down. So let me turn it down. All right. That's just my mood music coming on. So that's what we're here for. That's what we're doing. So 4 minutes, doing good. Real quick, also, I am planning, might not be in the heart of Atlanta because I live in suburbs of Atlanta. But singles mixer weekend in Atlanta. Listen. Yo, this thought came to me from a friend. She gave me the idea. We're talking about We're talking about a Friday night live camper conversation, maybe Saturday to give everyone a chance to get here because Friday's kind of tough. So let's say that Saturday night, we will have a forum live camper conversation. We're going to pass the mic. We're going to talk having some time in the park. We trying to see who can throw down on the grill. We're going to have some games. Y'all know those big old hamster balls? Those big hamster balls that people got some of those on deck. If you think you good in spades and dominoes and Uno, oh man, yo, this weekend we're going to have a great time. Married people, married couples, please do not think you're left out. I did say a singles mixer, but you guys are so important and so crucial to this family as well. I want everybody at the live forum. Excuse me. I need everybody at the live forum because your input is just as important as the single people's input. Okay? Because some single people are trying to get to the married life and some are trying to stay single. Either way, whatever you're doing, whatever works for you, is cool. But we want to be here to help one another and love on one another. Okay? All right. So there'll be no bashing in this group. There's no male, there's no female bashing in this group. If you send something to me that you would like me to post, because y'all, I do review everything that comes through. If you guys don't see some of your things that you sent, please know that I found it not appropriate for the group. Because we don't want to insult anyone. We have jokes. We have, hey sis, hey, Miss Bridget. We have jokes. We have serious topics and subjects. We have, things we can laugh at, things we can think about, things that may make us cry, things that may erupt some emotion. But that's what this page, this place is for. All right. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please, please, please do so. Real Life Relationship Growth YouTube channel. All right, y'all, we're going to get started because this Thursday night, we're going to see how this goes. I don't want to go a full hour like we normally do, but we're going to let us lead us. How about that? All right, so here we go. Our topic tonight, and you guys, please type in the chat, type in your thoughts, your responses, your answers, all of those things. Please type in the chat, and I'm going to try to keep up. If I don't get to your comment, these videos are posted. YouTube is unstable. Come on, YouTube. Sorry about that, Bridget. These videos are posted. They're posted to the top of the Real Life Relationship Growth Facebook page. Excuse me. And they're also, of course, posted on the YouTube channel, All right. So our topic tonight is, I got a typo on here. Our topic tonight is change. All right. I fixed it, guys. Change. Do you need it? Want it? Can you handle it? Change. Do you need it? Want it? Can you handle it? Can you handle the changes that come? So, of course, guys, the topics that we talk about are relational, okay? They are relational. So anytime we talk about something, just know it's relational. We're talking relational, okay? So we want to make sure that we got that, we know that. All right, so change. We're talking about change. Hey, everyone who's joined. I can't really see everybody. I see y'all popping up. But hello to everyone joining. Thank you for being here. Change. Do you need it? Do you want it? Can you handle it? So last week, for you all who weren't here last week, the topic last week was after the divorce. I personally enjoyed that conversation piece. I got a comment after someone commented, because you can continue to comment and add your thoughts, of course, onto the videos, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook. But someone commented and thanked me for that video, thanked me for that live, thanked me for that discussion, because after the divorce, depending on why and how the situation came about, people handle it in different ways. People handle it in different ways. And I was thinking of a topic tonight, and I reached out to several people because, guys, I honestly have a lot of topics that you all have sent and asked me for us to discuss, right? So there are a lot of topics out there for us to discuss. But last night, I felt like I wanted to kind of stay within this mode. So I reached out to several people and I was like, hey, what do you think? And hey, Kevin. And my sister gave me the idea of the topic change. And for me, it kind of just led into building up from possibly last week. All right. So if you didn't watch last week's video, it's cool, it's fine, it's cool. You have time. But let's talk about change. Let's talk about change. Let's talk about change, y'all. Some people don't deal with change well. Some people don't deal with change well. They struggle with change. They struggle when the thing that was normal for them, the thing that was habit for them, that they were used to, shifts. Worst change, I think the worst change is when it's unexpected. There's an unexpected change. You're not expecting it. It sneaks up on you. You don't know what to do. You're not sure how to handle it. So you go into this mode of reacting. And a lot of times, majority of the times, we react out of emotion. And we all know that reacting out of emotion can be a problem. Reacting out of emotion can be a problem because when you're dealing with emotion and you're reacting out of emotion, you're not really thinking. Your decisions aren't always the best. You're feeling hurt. You're feeling let down. So it's not really good to react out of emotion. And it's definitely not good to make permanent decisions from temporary situations. I tell my kids that all the time. I tell my nephew that all the time. I tell people that, I talk to and kind of give advice to that are trying to deal with something, but seem to just be losing it off of this type of situation, right? And it happens. We all tend to do it. Change. We all tend to do it. So when a change comes and we don't expect it, how do we handle it? Like, how do you handle unexpected change? Hey, Michelle, how do you handle unexpected change? If y'all could tell me, if y'all could type in the chat, tell me, how do you handle unexpected change? Hey, I'm sorry, y'all. Glasses. Say, hey, girl. Hey, peace and love, fam. Peace and love, babes. How do you handle unexpected change? Like, what do you do when there's unexpected change? Y'all tell me how y'all handle it. Unexpected change. So, okay. So let me start out. Okay. It's okay. Michelle said it's hard for me to handle it. It's hard to change. Unexpected change. Somebody else, how do you handle unexpected change? Hey, YouTube, I'm sorry, guys. It's kind of going in and out. It's saying unstable, but we holding in there. It's hard for her to handle unexpected change. She said it's stressful. I like planning things out. It's stressful. She likes planning things out. Yo, Michelle, I get it. Unexpected change. How do you handle it? So me personally, I'm like Michelle. I don't like unexpected changes. I don't like unexpected changes. I like to be prepared for what's coming. I like to know what's coming, excuse me, so I can position myself to handle it and deal with it. I like to position my sons. We're talking about change, unexpected change. We're talking about relationships. Sometimes when there's change, it puts us in a position to make drastic decisions. I'm sorry, Bridget said, I'm resistant to change at first. Resistant to change at first. Yes. Yes. Especially if it's like, okay. So when we're in relationships, we're in a relationship and our partner, our significant other makes a decision to make a change that we don't like, to make a change that's going to shift things as we know it. Things as we know it. It puts us in a position where it's like, okay, what do I do? How do I react to this? Let me miss no one. Claudia said, it's hard, however, if you take a minute, don't allow anyone to rush you into change unexpectedly, or know sometimes you have to say, I'll get back to you. Allow me to regroup. I like that, Claudia. I like that. You have to take a minute. You have to take a minute to say, hey, you know what? I can't really handle this right now. I'm not sure how to respond to this. I'm not sure how to take this. So give me a minute. Give me a minute, and I'm going to get back to you. Give me a minute, and I'm going to get back to you. Now, healthy relationships, take that and say, you know what? I understand. I understand you weren't prepared for this. I know it's a big adjustment. So let me give you time to adjust to it, dissect it. I'm sorry. Accept it, realize it, take it in, and make your decision off of it. That's what healthy relationships do. That's what healthy relationships do. But when we have change, guys, let's talk about change, that a negative change. Let's talk about negative change in the relationship. Because remember I said last week, kind of piggybacking off, after the divorce, how do you handle it? What do you have to deal with it as it is. When it comes, you must adapt and or adjust accordingly. Some change may be necessary in order to progress, but you must let go of the fear of the unknown in order to oh, y'all, I'm sorry. Come back. Sorry, Kevin. Let me try to get it. iPad is messing up. But you must let go of the fear of the unknown in order to acclimate it to your life. I'm sorry. I don't know what the iPad is doing. Oh, that's what it's doing. I'm sorry. All right. In order to acclimate it to your life. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. It's hard, but like you said, reality is you got to deal with it. So what happens when the change that comes totally shifts your life, totally shifts your relationship, totally throws you for a loop? What can you do? How can you handle that? Okay. So Bridget said, yes, I have time. I have to take time to process the change. Say says, everything can't be planned. Sometimes you have to rely on your experiences. Sit back, breathe, and analyze without reacting. Yes, Claudia, it is correct. It's called risk management. Remember, Donna, this is your bruh, Mike. Oh, Mike, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know what? You know what? There's a young lady that messages me, and she goes by a Muslim name as well. And I'm sorry, I'm mixing y'all up. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. That's one of my brothers, Mike. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm mixing y'all up. Because I'm gonna have to go on my messenger and be like, girl, guess what I did? All right. So he says, remember, Donna, this is your brother Mike, aka Save My Muslim okay. Now you know. Yes. Now I'm being reminded. Thank you. I'm sorry. All right. So change the name on me. All right, y'all. I'm sorry. So change. So relationships. When there's a change in your relationship that you don't expect, and it's not for the best, it's not for the better, how do we react? As everybody's saying, I don't like change. It stresses me out. I know I have times, there's easy answers. There's easy answers, and that's the go-to. And that's the go-to, and I get it. And it's easy for some people. It is easy for some people. Hey, Sherry. I agree with you, Kevin. Michelle says she agrees with you, Kevin. So when we have these drastic changes, when we have these relational changes that throw us for a loop, I want us to speak to the person whose relationship ended abruptly. I want us to speak to the person whose financial situation ended abruptly because there was a change and there was a shift. I want us to speak to the person emotional, their mental was completely knocked, was completely rocked. I want us to help each other, y'all. I want us to help each other. Relationship changes is also difficult as well. Yeah, they're very difficult. And for those of us who have been through divorce, dramatic change. But in his situation, the marriage lasted for so long, and then the divorce started building and happening. And now he's in a situation where, I'm coming to you, Kevin. Now he's in a situation, the home that he worked hard and paid for is pretty much being taken away. It's so many dynamics to what's going on with them. It's so many dynamics because everyone has a side. And how they deal with that change and how they work out things and how they deal with, it makes it really, really tough. So dealing with those changes, he's hurting. He's in a tough situation. He's in a state where, although I've been through the situation, I've been on the other side of it as a woman, because there's a difference in how those things tend to go on the male and the female side. And it's not talking about who's right and who's wrong. It's talking about the legalities of it, like going to court, child support, all of those things, alimony, things like that. They can be tough. So I want to speak to the person who's dealing with the challenges of separation from what they're used to, if they aren't trying to compromise, then give them the pink slip and deuces. Oh, I really want my tab. All over with a new partner is hard, but necessary if it's a toxic relationship. Oh, most definitely. If it's a toxic relationship, the healthiest thing for you is to get out of it. With physical abuse, I'm giving up on my iPad. Physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, all of those things are toxic. So the changes that you make are for the better for yourself. That will make everyone happier. When we deal with the difficulties of all of these things that go on, We deal with the difficulties. What are some things, guys, that we can do to help us adjust? To help us adjust. Mike made a really good point. I think it was Mike that said, might have been Kevin, that said, we have to address it head on. We have to address it head on and deal with the reality of what is. Deal with the reality of what is. The reality of what is that we can't change a person. We can't force a person to do certain things. We can't make someone think and feel how we think and feel. So when the change comes, after we take it in and we realize this is what's happening, I have no control over that side. I have to control myself. I have to deal with the situation on my end and make it the best situation possible that I can. So when that happens, when we do that, taking the time to focus on you, taking the time to say, you know what, this is different. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. I don't want it. But I have to accept it. I have to accept it. We have to accept change when it comes. We have to accept change when it comes. If the first thing we do is realize that we have to accept it, it's going to make it easier for us to adjust to how we have to move accordingly, how we have to move after the fact. We have to accept it. And accepting it means, man, maybe I shouldn't have been in that relationship. Accepting it means maybe I couldn't, maybe this is why I'm stagnant in life. Maybe this is why I can't be more successful in my business, my education, all the things that I'm trying to do. Maybe this is what's holding me back. Maybe it was a good idea, and maybe the change was something I needed, but I was either too scared to step out there or I was comfortable where I was. Kevin said, I had a situation several years ago where a sudden health issue cost me my job and my finances. I hit rock bottom and in turn fell into depression and unworthiness. As time passed, I faced the issue and realized I can't control everything, as life is not determined by my own individual schedule. So after I got done with the self-pity, I focused on rebuilding myself. It's hard, but now it's paying dividends. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that, Kevin. And that is so much of what I'm saying in a nutshell, y'all. Kevin just came. He had a health situation he had no control over. He had no control over, no expectation of it. And it cost him so much. It cost him so much. And after he realized, that's when the healing starts. So change is inevitable, y'all. Change happens regardless if we want it to or not. Whether we need it, whether we want it, we have to accept it. How we move once that change happens, all change isn't bad. All change isn't bad. If your spouse comes to you and says, hey, got a job offer, we need to move, we need to go do this, we need to go do that, that can be a great change for your household. That can be a great change for your household. Can be stressful. Can be stressful. And oh yes, that counseling was key. Ding, 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 ding. Kevin, you always come in with it. Counseling, most definitely. Most definitely. Counseling, coming in, taking some time for yourself is key. Yeah, I don't care how small your change might be. So much. The smallest things can affect you so much that it makes a shift. It presents big. Counseling taking some time to sit down and learning the skills that can help you can take you so far, because trust and believe, it is not the last change that will come. It is not the last change that will happen. It's not the last shock of your life. So talking to a friend the other day again, and I was saying that actually I wasn't talking to a friend. I have a new teacher. And it's hard not to get into people's personal, especially when you're working closely with people. And especially, when they tend to come to you and they want to either vent or share, or they're not sure what they need to do and they want your advice. This young lady in her personal life, going through so much. She lost so much. And this job is just what she needed. And I told her, I said, this is your happy place. Like, when you come here, understand that what's going on out there in the world, when you clock out, it's still going to be there. Come in here and find your happy place. You love children. Help them. You can't stop it. But just know how you adjust to it, how you deal with it is going to be key for what happens next. So, she took a moment, she took a breath. I understand. I've lost money. I've gained money. I've lost situations and positions that may have put me in a place where I could have moved quicker to my goals, and some were taken away. Purpose for me, I had to sit back and remember that any change that comes in my life has to be for my better in some type of way. It has to be for my better in some type of way. Whether I want what I'm dealing with, or whether I don't want something that's taken away slowly or quickly. I told her, look at every situation, look at what's going on with you now, and find some appreciation in it. And that's hard to do when your relationship ends, whether it's slowly or quickly. That's hard to do when your relationship ends, when that expected change hits you. When that expected change happens and you don't know what to do. It's so hard to do that. But when we take the time to realize that, hey, you know what? This change is happening in my life. And it has to prepare me. I have to be prepared for the next level and the next thing. My family had a major change. There was a major change. My dad had been on dialysis for a few years. And one night, early in the morning, most of y'all know this story. We got a phone call. My mom called me. She was like, Daddy, you gotta get to that. And like, we were scrambling. It was a beautiful change. But that change, guys, made some adjustments in our family that we were not expecting, that we were not prepared for. We had actually said a week earlier, we need to sit down and have a family meeting. We all need to come together and talk about, give a think. If we would have had that conversation, I don't think we would have been ready. We would have had, how you do fire drills, and then in the event of a real fire, you got to have an idea, but it doesn't mean you don't go frantic at first. And you're not like, oh my gosh, hey, Jerome, what do I do? So, but the change that happened was a great thing. It was a great shift for my father, which gave a great shift for the family. But in the process, he has some stuff to go through, y'all. His body is making changes. His body is making adjustments. He has lots of doctor's appointments. He doesn't have the energy yet that we know he's going to have. We know he's going to get to. This is the excitement for me with that. This is the excitement. Even though it's a lot, even though it's hard to watch him transition as he's doing and adjust with this kidney, I am excited about when my dad is going to be running around again, picking up Kate and talking about honey day at the mall. Honey day at the mall. My dad used to pick Kaden up and they would go for lunch at the mall. And he called it honey day at the mall. I'm excited for that, which means the changes that come in life, y'all, we can't allow them to break us. We can't allow them to break those changes. We have to find a way to say, you know what? I know there's better. And even if I don't get this back, or even though this doesn't come back to me 20, 10-fold, there's something else that I can look forward to. Change. Hey, Chris, change. There's no option. There's no option. If your change is you fall in love, you meet someone and you fall in love and you don't expect it, that's the sweetest kind of change. And you don't expect it, you have to start making adjustments to your life because you want this person to be in your life. You want this person to be around. You want this person to be there. So you start making changes and adjustments. You start making changes to say, you know what? I need to know how to adjust and make this person a part of my day-to-day. Because I not only want to date this person, I not only want to court this person, but I realize that this is my person. So you got to make adjustments. You got to make changes. You got to work with those changes. Some changes we bring on ourselves. And again, some changes come unexpectedly. Unexpectedly. I have to say this, and y'all know I'm going to say it. My belief factor is mine. I believe in a God that walks with me through my changes. Whatever you believe, whatever encourages you, whatever helps you, hold on to that because that is going to help you through your changes. My daughter and I were talking today, and Miss Ma'am be going through it. When I say going through it, I'm so proud of her because she's grinding. She's doing her thing, right? And so many changes come at her. In the type of business that she does, she's a dancer. She not only dances, she has a studio, she teaches, those auditions come up, and she gets excited. She gets some, she doesn't get some. She is trying to position herself where she can once again get her own place, right? Changes. And today we were talking about the differences when I was younger, that time period, to where I was her age, that she is now. And she talks about everything they have to fight against. Like the fact that the economy is so jacked up. The changes that came because of COVID, the changes that came because of just time in life. And I was telling her, you know what? It wasn't any different for anybody struggling back in the 80s based on the time. Hey, Alicia, the changes that we were dealing with, that they were dealing with then, y'all are just seeing the change. Y'all are just seeing and getting what goes now. Like minimum wage was what it was in the 80s. So minimum wage was never enough. Today, minimum wage is never enough. Never enough. And she made a point. She was like, we're based on statistically and based on what they're saying, this time period right now, right. Think about the changes during the recession. I had to adjust a lot. Adjusting a lot. But she was like, we're dealing with not only recession, and we're dealing with the economy being jacked up and bad. We're dealing with the results of COVID, like the things that happen. Like rent nowadays is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But this is the point I'm getting at. This is the point I realized. And I said, I'm not going to argue and debate with you on the difference of the 80s to now and how in situation in life and what's happening for you right now. You have to adjust to those changes the best way you can. You have to adjust to those changes and make do and try to get a place and keep your job and function. It's called adulting. But you have to do those things. But what your feelings are on change are your feelings. And the changes that she's dealing with is, realizing this is not going to be the way I expected it with this. So when we make adjustments, when we have to make adjustments, we may get stressed out. We may go down for a bit. We may go into a state of depression. We may lose everything, like Kevin was saying, and shut down completely. But we have to understand and know that we still have to ride it out. We still have to ride it out. If there's a change in your relationship, if there's a shift in your relationship, because we should grow and evolve. We should never stay the same. Who you were a year ago in your relationship should not be who you are today in your relationship. And you and your significant other have to work through those changes, have to work through those adjustments. If you are in it for the long haul, if you are in it for the right reason, if you care for this person, if you have enough that the adjustments that are happening, that you're willing to adjust and work and move with, changes. You have to adjust and work to those changes. We can't give up. So many times in relationships, we give up because we see a shift or we see a change. And we say, oh, I don't like that. That's not for me. If you think your relationship is always going to be perfect for you, do some more homework. For years and years and years, and who have stuck it out and through the long haul. Talk to some people that have not given up. Talk to some people that understand you're not going to always make me happy. And true, when these changes come, when you don't look like the person I met a year ago, because sisters, we change all the time. When you don't act like the person that I met a year ago, as long as that change is not toxic, as long as that change is not abusive, as long as that change is not making someone miserable, we got to adjust to the change. We have to adjust to the change. So if your job tomorrow, your supervisor, CEO, whatever, whoever you work under, if they came to you tomorrow and said, there's a change in the company, there's going to be an adjustment, either you go with the change or you don't have a job anymore. How many people are going to walk out and quit? I mean, I'm not saying to the detriment your morals and values or questioning none of that. I'm not saying that. How many people are going to walk out and quit? Again, this is a point I used to bring up all the time. Why is it when it comes to relationships, when that happens, we're so easy to walk away and run away and say, that's not for me? Why do we do that? Change. Jerome said, gotta pray for the wisdom to make the necessary adjustments to change. Most definitely. Most definitely. We have to pray for the wisdom, because when we don't have wisdom, when we lack wisdom, is when we make foolish mistakes. Foolish decisions, foolish moves. So in that point of relationship, if that person is making a change that you're saying, whoa, I'm not used to that. How much work are you going to put in to talking to that person, to talking to your significant other, to talking to this person that you so cared about a year ago? You so loved, was the best thing since sliced bread a year ago. How do you adjust? How do you deal with change? Remember, I'm not talking about changes that are going to harm you in any kind of way. Because again, so many times people get up and walk and they go because there's been a change that they don't like. Instead of taking the time, I believe like Kevin mentioned, taking the time, talking about it, having a discussion, and saying, you know what? Tell me what's going on. Times there are changes that happen with us. We didn't plan. We don't know why they're happening. But to have a partner that you could sit down with and talk to and say, you know what? This is going on. This is what I'm feeling. And this is what's happening. Somebody you could talk to. That's what this is about. Real life relationship growth is about growing relationships. And if you can't sit down and talk to your significant other, your partner, that person, and say, there's changes, there's things happening, and I need you to understand, and I need you to roll with me. Or I see a change in you. I see a change in you. You want to talk about it? Because honestly, it's making me uncomfortable. I don't know how to deal with this change. Don't know where it's coming from. Talk about it. Talk about it. I believe any relationship can work. Any relationship can work if we take the time to work it in the proper manner. Jerome said, fear of the unknown is the greatest enemy of change. Ooh, I like that. Fear of the unknown is the greatest enemy of change. When you fear because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So you concerned and you don't know how to respond. You don't know how to react. This woman says she don't want to be with me anymore. I don't know what to do with that. But I have to accept her decision. Now, when you sat down and you had to come to Jesus meeting, when you sat down and you talked about why, because some people will walk out of your life and won't even tell you why. They'll make their decision, and you might not even know they're making that decision. That's the person you want to keep on walking. I ain't talking. That's the person you want to, let walk. You want to let walk. But the person that's struggling or the person that's just going through a change and they're trying to, especially when they're trying to help themselves and they're trying to get counseling and they're getting counseling, they're doing stuff like that. Let me tell y'all, because here we go with my transparency. Don't mind. My last relationship, that was pretty much my situation. There were some changes and adjustments that I wanted to make. And I was making a decision on staying or going. What my decision was, is, you know what? We're going to talk about this thing. And to try to have some conversation. And in the midst of doing that, reality was I need to check myself. I need to do some things for myself. Not necessarily for him. Not for him, to be honest. For me. Because there's some changes happening. For me. But he made some changes, y'all, I wasn't aware of. He made some adjustments. And it just kind of came out dramatically and quickly. And I had to respond. Did not like it because, again, like I said last week, my biggest issue was the audacity, right? Did not like it. Had to make changes and adjustments. But the change that came helped me to realize it was the best change for that relationship. It was the best change for that relationship. Now, if you're in a position, in a situation where you don't understand it and you don't get it and you don't think it's the best change, and the person that you're dealing with won't have a conversation with you, you have to focus on you. You have to, like Kevin said earlier, realize there's nothing I can do about this change. The only thing I can do is change myself and make my adjustments where I can be productive moving forward in life. Change. Change is inevitable. Change is going to happen, whether it's negative or positive. Whether you want it to, whether you need it to, whether you choose it or not, it's going to happen. So take the change, y'all, and run with it. Own it. Make it yours. Be like, oh, babe, you don't like XYZ? Okay, well, what are we going to do about it? How would you like to work this change out? How would you like for us to adjust to this change? Because my goal and purpose is to make this relationship work. Growth. My purpose is to make this relationship work. So this is the change that's happening. You're doing this, and I don't like it. You're doing that, and it's uncomfortable for me. Talk about it. Talk about the change. If the change just involves you because the relationship wasn't right, then you work on yourself. For those who are single and changes and adjustments come, changes and things happen, hey, build yourself up. Build yourself up. Because it's going to happen. Kevin said, well, fellas, if she comes in the bedroom with that rose, don't accept it. For y'all that don't know, Kevin got a hate for the rose. Y'all don't know what the rose is? Look it up. But I'm sure we pretty much know at this point what the rose is. For the ladies, the rose. Kevin got a hate for the rose. Tell people not to bring the rose in the bedroom, Kevin. You better leave people alone. Jerome says sometimes people will try to sabotage relationships because they live in fear of changes. That is true. That is true. That's why conversation is so important. That's why conversation, Hateration 101. That's why conversation is so important. It's so important to have conversation about the change, because if someone is trying to sabotage the relationship, there's reasons behind that. People deal with traumas, and people sometimes feel like I need to get out of this before it destroys me. Insecurities and fears break relationships. Insecurities and fears break relationships. Have a talk. Talk about the changes. And if somebody is sabotaging it, if you care enough and you realize they're trying to sabotage the relationship, they're trying to ease their way out or find a reason to get out. If you care, and there's, again, no abuse and all that stuff going on, have a conversation. Hey, I notice that you keep pushing XYZ. I notice that you keep picking fights. I notice that, is there something you're concerned about? Is there something happening that I'm not aware of, I don't know, that maybe we can get into and talk about? Change. All right, y'all. We are done. It is 8:59. We went an hour. Thank you for those who joined. Please continue to give your input and your thoughts, because, again, I know some of you did not make it tonight on. I'm talking to you now. could not make it for whatever reason, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, give your input. Give your input. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Let's see. Wait a minute. Jerome said abandonment could be the reason why some people are afraid of changes. Exactly. Exactly. Deal with those traumas. Talk. Communicate. It's the only way you're gonna know. And if you need to leave, if they need to leave, at least you can say we tried our best. At least you can say we walked away with an understanding, undeniably, with an understanding of what has happened in this change. Thank you, great topic. You're welcome, Michelle. As usual, I enjoy it. Y'all always feel like I start off a little rocky, a little shaky. Because truth be told, whether y'all believe it or not, I be nervous when I hit start and go and live or whatever. So thank y'all for helping me mellow out, relax. Thank you for your input. It helps so much. I love y'all. Have a great weekend. I'll be headed out of town because Friday don't have me live. I'll be headed out of town this weekend. Going to have some celebrations out of town this weekend. So I love y'all. Have a great evening. In your week. Great tomorrow. Go in there and bust that change out at work. Let them know you will not break me. Change. All right, y'all. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. All right, y'all. Have a good night. All right, y'all already know I'm going to end YouTube first. Good night, YouTube. YouTube.